Listen to this. Imagine the sun as a grapefruit. The inner planets, Mercury, Venus, the Earth, and Mars, are pinheads placed within 27 yards of the grapefruit. Our sun is merely a star. The next star will be 2,000 miles away, a grapefruit in North Africa. This is a reduction in scale of 10 billions. Working to this scale, our model of the solar system is a circle 1 mile across, about the size of the village in which these lines were written.
Don't let your cocoa get cold.
I think I got the maths right.
Well done. Like a biscuit?
Ha! 5.
5?
A record.
I'm not with you.
Every night when you trot out those damn biscuits, I take one at random, mark the underside, and return it to the plate. I've been keen to see which one leads the longest and best travelled life. The ginger nut wins.
Oh.
5 nights, still circulating. I don't eat biscuits anymore.
Don't you? I do occasionally. I wonder why 1 or 2 tasted peculiar.
Well, it won't kill you. It's only quink. I'm hoping to do something equally stimulating on the structure of the atom.
Good hope. Hope you managed to get some sleep.
Oh, eventually. I'm having a bit of a tussle with the Crabbe Nebula at the moment. Trying to get that buttoned up tonight, I think.
Good luck.
You know, an incredible thing. A huge supernova explosion happens in the Middle Ages. Details recorded in China, of all places. Nothing about it in Europe, though, not a mention anywhere. Our chap's mucking about, obviously. Everybody half asleep, no one keeping an eye on things. Most depressing. Not as half-baked as he looks, the chink. Couldn't be, or he'd never have mastered that alphabet.
There's a car coming up the lane.
Nothing wrong with the darky eye there in his place. Nor the nip.
Yes, it's him. Dad! About time to... Oh, no.
Good God, whatever's that? Is it my fault? What have I done?
You ran over a hedgehog.
A hedgehog? I never knew they made a noise like that.
Most things do when they're in pain. Anyway, it's out of its misery now.
Why do I always do the wrong thing in the country? It's always me that leaves the gate open and lets the bloody cows out. Pleased to see me.
I look terrible.
You're not. You're looking slimmer.
Oh, thanks.
Where's the old man?
Upstairs.
Asleep?
Oh, some hope. Working, I should think. I did grind up some old sleeping pills of mine and mixed in with his cocoa.
And of course, he's got the constitution of Rasputin. You'd think he'd have heard the car, wouldn't you? Not to mention the gunfire. I'm rather piqued he hasn't popped down to say hello.
He'd expect you to go up.
I'm not going up. He can come down. How is he these days? In himself?
No better, no worse. Little deafer, perhaps.
What fun.
When it suits him. You'll see him when this thing goes off. He can't hear it, I don't think. It's too high-pitched, but it seems to irritate his ears in some way. And he sits there, shaking his head like an old spaniel.
I shall look forward to that, in a lukewarm sort of way, you understand. How's the angina?
Oh, much the same. He gets puffed a lot.
What does old Dr. Watson say?
Lister, not a lot. Still smoking?
I wouldn't know oxygen if I inhaled it now. The BBC, they call me Passing Cloud.
All this time and you've never even phoned.
Time has been at a premium, dear.
You found time to drink, I dare say.
Of course. But I drank each drink to you. You may gauge from that how often you were in my thoughts.
Well, since you raised the subject...
It's my problem. How's yours? Are you sleeping or pacing at the moment?
Pacing. Given up on the pills.
Except when you slip his lordship and Mickey in the Ovaltine.
Don't do it all that often, except when he's specially fretful. Usually he potters. He works.
What is all this work that goes on?
A book.
Not his memoirs.
Actually, it's a combination of his memories of the Middle East mixed up with half a dozen conversations he had with the Astronomer Royal in 1959.
Oh, dear, what a man. So his latest fad is the universe, is it? Whatever next?
Doesn't leave a lot else, does it?
My, how it all comes flooding back. I think I'll leave.
For God's sake, James. It's me that has to bloody live here.
Did I speak out of turn?
She wouldn't do that. The place is shaky enough as it is. Well, I think I'll go to bed.
Whatever for?
You're here now. I feel like a lie-down. I've got to wade through Barchester Towers this weekend.
Why?
The travelling library comes through on Mondays.
Let's all go here, obviously.
Right then.
Hello? No, this isn't the Samaritans. This is a private number. Look, really, you've got the wrong number. I am not a Samaritan. Oh, God. Just a minute. Which bridge? Where? Oh, yes, I know the one you mean. You've chosen well, dear. That'll make a lovely jump. Go on, I dare you. Now, don't be feeble about it. Jump. You'll feel a fool tomorrow if you don't. I know I did. Good night. Oh, shut up.
What's this masquerading as?
Bacon and eggs?
Bacon it may be. Where are the eggs?
God, bacon and eggs, and I've forgotten the eggs. Getting my head next, if only I could.
Morning.
Morning. Fine day.
So far.
What's left of it?
Emily?
Hello, you're up early. You want something to eat?
No, just some coffee, if that's at all possible.
Huh?
I'm getting the usual cast-iron conviviality out here.
What?
Good to see you, Father.
Staying long?
I'm not absolutely sure.
Oh, that's it. You rush off as soon as you have to. Somebody around here is using a faulty dog whistle.
The kettle.
Oh, don't worry. She'll see to that. When I was a subaltern, I made do with 5 hours sleep a night. Nowadays, I need hardly any.
Yes, Dad, the clinical term is raving insomnia.
No, it's not a question of nerves. It's a question of self-discipline.
Father, if you had an iota of self-discipline, you'd at least try and tidy yourself up. Look where that egg's going.
No, I'm not trying to fool around with my parents these days. Age is a great antidote to vanity.
He won't have a mirror in his room anymore.
Well, quite right. Chap wants to know what he looks like, and you always go and dig out his passport.
You're looking very elegant.
Thank you.
Well, not say piss elegant. What's that stuff you're drinking?
Coffee.
Ugh. Nasty continental habit. Irritates the lining of the stomach, you know.
Better than gumming up the works with cholesterol like you're doing, I'm here to tell you.
I was wondering what you were here for.
Listen, if you pick a fight with me, you'll get as good as you give.
Ha! I doubt it. Continental breakfast, indeed. Bit of bohemian posturing.
Father, it's my life. I'm a big boy now.
You must be the judge of that.
Please shut up.
I heard your arrival last night, incidentally, followed by a shot. Pity you missed.
Wonderful old man. Worth his weight in pure shit.
He thinks as much of you.
Don't I know it? Do you think he'd let me take him on a nice long walk? Overtax his heart a bit.
He usually takes a little stroll after breakfast.
Where to?
No idea. Something's afoot. I sometimes think even he might be having an affair.
If only. Who with?
He's been seeing a lot of Miss Hicks recently.
Miss Hicks, who's she?
That extraordinary crone who harangues the choir on Thursday evenings, you remember. She rides a bicycle fitted with an electric buzzer to ward off potential rapists.
Of course, the Valkyrie.
It's too much to hope for, though, isn't it? Too straightforward.
Yeah, I suppose that's how he'd do it if he did it. Object, affair, method, stand by your beds. weapon gleaming in the early light.
That a smartish retreat.
Poor mother.
Yeah. You know, I hardly remember her.
She must have been utterly stark, staring bonkers to marry him.
Well, suppose we all have our Achilles heel.
What can hers have been? Perhaps she advertised for him. Inexperienced young woman seeks strict disciplinarian.
Do you know how long you'll be staying?
No.
It's just so that I know for shopping. You have to be back Monday, presumably.
No, actually.
Oh, so?
Oh, dear. The BBC and I have parted company.
I see. You got the sack then in the end?
They accepted my resignation, yes.
I suppose it was what I think it was.
Well, yes, so they said. I had been getting these so-called alcoholic blackouts. Odd stretches of time erased completely. It's a great relief, actually. Frankly, I could welcome the advent of total amnesia with open arms now.
So, what will you do?
No idea. There have been problems at home, too.
You don't have to tell me if you don't want to. Jeffrey's kicked you out, I suppose.
He didn't exactly kick me out. He sort of froze me out. Oh, I'm all right. I've cut down the drinking to an absolute minimum. And I shall stay here in the country for a while, get some fresh air and get fit. Oh, by the way, I had a phone call last night from a woman threatening to plunge herself into the Orwell.
Oh?
She thought this was the Samaritan.
Well, yes, that's happened before. What did you say?
I told her to go ahead and not make such a song and dance about it.
You didn't.
I did. Psychologically, I believe it's the best approach.
You know, you must do something useful. For instance, they're always looking for volunteers to help out at that school up the road. You know, the one for mentally subnormal children.
Yeah, I'm sure my years at the BBC would be an excellent grounding for that.
James, honestly. Look, if you feel like doing something physical, you could wash up the breakfast things for me.
Okay. Where's the mop?
Straight in front of you.
Yeah, listen to this, both of you. I will not tolerate that sort of thing in this house. Imagine a cricket ball the size of the Earth. The atoms making up the cricket ball are now the size of grapes.
Well, I never knew that before.
This leads us on to the frequently raised question, why can't I walk through a wall?
Well, why can't you?
Really have to use your imagination for that one. I wrote that sitting on the lav.
Good for you.
Your sister tell you I was writing a book about the universe?
Yes, ambitious little project.
Yeah, I'm calling the book Imaginative Physics and the Metaphysical Heritage, a blueprint for the future.
Catchy, like Gone with the Wind.
Well, perhaps we'll get that typed up for me. Right, I'm off for a breath of air.
Father, would you mind terribly if I came with you?
Huh? Well, if you must.
Thank you.
You coming out like that, are you?
Yes, why? Should I wear camouflage?
I suppose I'll get used to walking beside that shirt.
What's the matter with this shirt?
Oh, never mind. I won't presume to question your taste, so I'll just dismiss you out of hand.
Typical.
Well, come on, get coming.
Don't wear him out.
Hello.
Oh.
Me.
So it is.
Miss Gantry. Morning.
Good morning, Doctor. How are you?
Well, I'm fine, I think, yes. You're my first call today.
Honoured.
Well, I thought as you phoned, you know, I'd make a point.
Oh, so I did. How kind.
Not at all. It's what I'm paid for. Well, how's your father been? since I saw him?
Flourishing,
Oh, good.
like the bay tree.
Good. And what about yourself?
Myself? Oh, I'm all right, I suppose, as usual.
Oh, well, fine. That's fine. And the rubber plant is looking well, too.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not concentrating. I need a stronger sedative.
Stronger sedative. Oh, yeah, I see, yes. Now, would this be for yourself or for your father?
For my father. Anything to make him sleep. He's up till all hours and it's wearing me out.
Yeah, well, he certainly has a prodigious amount of energy for a man of his years. How's his book going?
Oh, on and on.
Fascinating man.
I've been fascinated by my father right up to the back teeth. Till it hurts, Doctor, till I'm blue in the face, till I could scream.
Yeah, well, we all have our ups and...
Ups and downs.
Well, you know, I've always admired the way you...
Don't I feel so utterly landed with myself?
Peck her up, hmm? You're really down to the last straw, aren't you?
Oh, no, I'm sure there are bales more to come. There always are.
Well, I wish there was something I could do to help. I'd do anything.
Would you?
Oh, yes?
All right. Would you do your owl impersonation? Go on.
What?
Eric.
Emily?
Eric. You remember the spring before last, what you said?
Well, yeah, well, of course I do, yes. What about it?
Well, I'm sorry I was so offhand, truly.
Oh, please, don't apologize. I understood. It was just a shot in the dark. I didn't really think that you would take
How
it.
would it be if I reconsidered?
Reconsider, yes. Are you sure?
Well, of course I'm sure, otherwise I wouldn't have put it up again, would I?
Well, I'm game.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Yes, the house has been jolly empty since Marjorie ran away.
I suppose you did remember to divorce Marjorie in the end, then?
Oh, yes. Yes, I'll say.
Well, then,
Awake, sweet love, thou art returned, my heart which longeth.
Well, now, look, could we recap a bit?
yes, of course. What I meant was that I'm quite prepared to accept your proposal of 2 years ago if you're still keen.
Well, what can I say?
That's up to you, isn't it?
I accept.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to give the impression that it was just to get away from Father.
No.
Though, of course, that does come into it.
Yes.
Mind you, you give the impression, ever so slightly, of not being able to manage on your own.
I can't.
Well, then. I don't suppose we'd better bother too much about love's young dream.
When were you
Soon,
thinking?
soon.
Church or registry office do you want?
Oh, not church. I couldn't go through all that.
Well, I think I play golf with a registrar chappie. I could speak to him about it.
I didn't know you played golf.
Oh, yes. Sometimes on Sundays. Sorry.
Look, you will hurry, won't you?
And I don't want you to...
No, I won't. Eric, I think you might perhaps like to know this. I've hung on to my virginity.
Oh, well, that's something.
Fat lot of use it's been to me. Anyway, there it is, untouched by human hand.
Thank you.
No trouble.
I'm better be off. Prescription. It's some stuff called diazepam. It's the strongest thing I dare give anyone in your father's condition. It should do the trick. Anyway.
Thank you.
You'll let me know,
See you soon.
Yes, of course. Bless you.
Windhover.
Well,
It's gone. So, tell me about the BBC.
I was wondering when you were going to ask. I've left the BBC.
Wise move. Place riddled with lefties these days, that's obvious. Can't think how you stuck it so long.
It was their decision, Father, my departure.
Ah. Got the old heave-ho, did you? What were you doing there, anyway?
Producing drama, Dad, you knew that.
Sounds straightforward enough. What was the problem?
Oh, I don't know. I felt like a fish out of water in the end. The department gradually filled up with legions of the so-called committed, all rabbiting on about relevance. I sat in my office day after day and watched the season come and go on colour television. Ascot with Mrs. Schilling, the Chelsea Flower Show, Cows Week. And things falling apart. The world energy shortage, in which my own lack of energy has, I feel sure, played its vital part. And I realized sitting there that this was to be my last summer in the BBC. Perhaps even the last summer of all.
Unless we rally.
What?
The Last Romantic, P790/12, Part 2, Take 1.
Don't wear him out, eh?
How'd you get on?
Fine, actually. Rather beautiful after lunch. What is he doing?
Oh, I have to do this. Wind down slowly, or the old ticker reacts to change your rhythm.
How'd you enjoy having company on your little stroll, Dad?
Ghastly. You kept pointing at things and making comments.
I was only trying to be enthusiastic.
Exactly. Like taking an Australian round an art gallery.
You've been quite some time. I've been to the shops and back.
He called in on Miss Hicks.
Really?
I had to wait outside.
Fascinating.
Woman, I suggest you leave us. Your brother and I have got things to discuss.
Have we?
All right. As it happens, I want to clear out my room.
Good. I trust you'll prosecute that occupation with some vigor.
Oh, like a thing possessed.
Good. Dismiss. She's being restive. I don't like it.
If you don't mind my saying so, you treat her vilely.
She's a woman. Never had an ounce of spine. If she had, she wouldn't have hung around here for years, expecting me to look after her. You fancy a little mid-morning refreshment?
I wouldn't say no.
Have a South African sherry.
If you insist.
Have an outspan. All the way from South Africa.
Not just at the moment, thanks.
You You wouldn't refuse on moral grounds. It's not against your principles.
Good Lord, no. I just don't think they'd go together very well.
You wouldn't let politics stand between you and my sherry.
No, why should I? Oh, I see. South Africa.
Absolutely. Well, cheers.
Cheers.
Foul gut rot. Yeah, let's have some of the San Patricio. Some chaps, you offer them an outspan, and they recoil as if they've been struck. Glad to see you're not one of them.
Father, what is all this in aid
sit
of?
tight and I'll tell you. Can't talk to your sister, you see. Left-wing sympathies. Knew I could rely on you.
Now, hang on a minute.
Now, sit tight. Questions after it. Now, you know me. I read, I think. Yeah, pity, but that's the way I'm made. I've been through a few hoops these last 10 years, I can tell you. Yeah. Hegel's dialectics, Leibniz monads, Spinoza's substance, Schopenhauer's blind will. You name it, I've had a crack at it. No, I don't regret it, mind you. It keeps your brain revving. But then, so do crosswords.
You've lost me.
I'd lost myself. And that's when I decided. Right, country. Time's getting on. You've juggled with the eggs. Now let's see you make an omelette. I advanced on two fronts. One philosophic, the other practical. Philosophically, I went back to basics. Decided the Greeks were all a cock. But look at your Homeric heroes. Arete, all-round excellence. Compare that with the dharma of the Hindu. Duty to self. Well, what's your uncle? Oh, you can forget Christianity. Notoriously haywire. That sinner scooting into the fold at the last minute. Something wrong there. But Judaism, Hinduism, Taoism, Buddhism, Zen. The one and the many. The timeless moment. Paradox. And, of course, the tradition that true knowledge cannot be communicated. And suddenly, I realized why I had never been able to grasp relativity. You see, I found out that the physicist Niels Bohr had the yin-yang symbol engraved on his tombstone. And I knew I was onto a winner. Hence the book. The rudiments of human wisdom on the one hand, and the frontiers of astrophysics on the other. Aim high, you see. Aim high. Yes. Yes. It's a funny thing, you know. Proximity to death. James, yeah, one becomes aware of fresh angles, bodily functions, the way the nails grow. Things get transparent. One becomes at times almost clairvoyant.
This two-pronged attack of yours, you said it had a practical side.
Ah, yes. Now, a true warrior of the Bhagavad Gita fights with passion and detachment. But he fights. The problem, of course, is to hold simultaneously the viewpoint of the here and now with the viewpoint of eternity, isn't it? And looking at the here and now, I find it self-evident that Great Britain is coming dangerously adrift. I mean, look at it, our democracy. Ha! Not that I hold any great brief for democracy. Another daft legacy from the Greeks, in my view. An aristocracy of blackguards, Byron called it, and by and large he was right. So, here we are. National disillusionment and loss of nerve. Instability in Parliament itself. Strikes, abortions, reform of the divorce laws, pornography, erosion of family life, tolerance of the criminal rather than the victim. As many coloured faces in the streets of Ipswich as there are left in Trinidad. And no leadership. Policemen walking the streets unarmed. No capital punishment. You mark my words. There will be an exploitation of our economic crisis and national disenchantment. There will be a breakdown of law and order. There is a growing threat from the left. And with this in mind, I've drawn up a declaration of intent for local circulation. Miss Hicks is at this moment duplicating copies on the church Gestapo machine. Our aim is to set up a regional volunteer force of like-minded civilians. We shall offer a backup service to the legitimate authority in case of need. In the event of a total breakdown of law and order, we shall act decisively, arming ourselves with anything lethal that comes to hand. The threat from the left is gathering momentum. The forces of anarchy are mobilizing. But when the motorcycle gangs come to invade our villages by night, they will find a handful of us rallied and prepared, ready for the chaos in the dark. Things are in the saddle and ride mankind.
Rubbish.
Do you think she was listening?
I doubt it.
Were you?
Oh, yes.
Enjoying yourself.
Ouch!
Don't let me disturb you. I'm having a wonderful throw out.
Well, can I give you a hand?
Stay where you are. Any questions? Well, come on, come on.
It's difficult to know where to begin. I'm not joining anyone's private army for a start.
It is not a private army. It is a paramilitary regional volunteer service.
Whatever. If things get as bad as you say, I shall be quite content to watch. I have no intention of standing in the high street with you and Miss Hicks trying to ward off youths in black leather with a pitchfork. Quite the contrary.
Don't you believe it? When it comes to a showdown, you'll show your true colours. Well, you do vote Tory, don't you?
I usually vote, if at all, for whichever side looks like doing the least dirt on me personally. Of recent years, that has tended to be the Conservatives, yes.
Well, then.
Irresponsible, I grant you. But then I'm not really a political animal. From each according to his accountant, to each according to his greed. That's my credo as far as I have one. Actually, whatever I may do or say personally, I happen to believe the other lot are right.
I'm in some difficulty here. Could I have that again? The left, right? Why?
Well, for instance, I don't believe God meant there to be poor people.
If God hadn't meant there to be poor people, don't you think by now he'd have united the Labour Party?
You know, Dad, talking to you is like stepping into a back number of Punch.
You'll see. When it comes to a crunch, I shall act first and talk afterwards.
Oh, I've no doubt you'll talk afterwards. Actually, you've been comparatively lucid for the last 5 minutes. But you lucid with your usual dotty logic. Oswald Mosley meets Don Quixote meets Confucius. Zen in the art of fascism. Oh, dear.
Fascism, indeed. I remember the last war if no one else does. We had a leader in those days, our finest hour.
Amazing, isn't it, the amount of junk that accumulates over the years?
I'll say.
By the way, I'm going to marry Eric Lister.
You'll get tempered in the fire that's coming to...
You're who?
Well, would you have called him a great man?
No.
Oh.
Not a great man. Perhaps a madman. Not great, nowhere near.
Not even in local terms?
In local terms, slightly above negligible.
Well, you were supposed to be his son.
I was supposed to be, yes. That is a fair way to put it. I never really filled the bill, but the supposition was there. With an accurate turn of phrase like that, you should go far as a journalist, my lad.
Well, Brigadier, now that's right, isn't it? Well, didn't he have a distinguished military career or something?
Or something. Not distinguished at all, really. He did a lot of swanning around in Camp Regalia.
Camp Regalia?
I can see you've got a nose for a story. I suppose he was faintly remarkable in a way. Dangerous, mind you.
Dangerous?
Oh, latterly. We couldn't let him out much. Flashing, attempted rape, and that sort of thing. And sheep. Not a sheep was safe for miles around.
I didn't know there were any sheep around here.
Perhaps that's why.
Right, well, thanks a lot anyway.
Not at all. Kind of you to come.
I thought you were supposed to be dead.
And who the hell are you?
Father, this gentleman is from the local paper. He's come to prepare your obituary.
Obituary? Bit damn premature, aren't you?
Oh, sorry, my mistake. Only some joker phoned the office and...
You bloody well phoned.
I was only trying to help. Thought you might like to get one jump ahead.
Well, a right bright spark you are. A proper bleeding cap and bell merchant.
What a bloody waste of time.
Bye, charming, literate young man.
What was all that in aid of?
It was going to be my get-well present to you. Pity you appeared when you did. After all, not many people have the fun of reading their own obituary.
Peculiar idea of fun you've got.
You're cutting a bit of a dash for a change.
I feel like a tart in a slack bordello. Where are they?
They said 12. Simmer down.
I haven't simmered up yet. Ridiculous liaison, I ask you. Get your hands off me!
Your stud was sticking out of the back. Made you look as if your head was held on by a rivet. Listen. If you and I put on a united front for once, we could stop this absurd marriage.
Do you think so? How?
Seize every opportunity to put them off the idea, and each other.
Well, that shouldn't be difficult. Depressing pair of specimens. Perhaps we could convince him that he was the dupe of a wily spinster, which he is. doctor, you know. Drops everything.
It's his sternum that appalls me. He's got a concave chest.
The bore to boot and knows it. It's a hopeless battle. They're a perfect match.
Here, they come.
Hello, how are you?
Morning, James.
Come on in.
Oh, yes. Here we are, then.
James, this is Eric.
We met after Father's little to-do.
Oh, yes, of course you did.
And I never forget a suit. How are you, Doctor?
Oh, I'm fine, I'm fine. Please, call me Eric.
Oh, well, if you insist. You know Father, of course, inside out.
Well, here we all are.
Well, if you'd all sit down, I could issue the drinks. South African sherry?
Oh, thank you, yes.
Well, Eric, you are a knave. Snatching away my little sister so suddenly.
Don't be hearty, James. It doesn't suit you. It's been on the cards for some time, as a matter of fact.
I had it. No one told me.
I'd been thinking it over, that's all.
You must have been on tenterhooks, weren't you, Eric?
Yeah, well, no, actually, I'd forgotten all about it. I mean, I sort of thought it had all blown over.
Oh, I see. Yeah. You do know my sister doesn't sleep, don't you?
Ignore him.
Oh, well, I'm hoping marriage will cure her of that problem.
Yes, of course, it's worth a try. She's tried everything else, as you probably know. Earplugs, blindfolds, self-hypnosis, drugs. Your wedding night should be a riot.
I did warn you, didn't I?
Oh, don't mind me.
I don't. Well, here's to it.
It.
Bacon said, "He that hath a wife and children hath given hostages to fortune, for they are impediments to great enterprises, either of virtue or mischief."
What do you say to that?
Oh, well, I'm not much of a one for great enterprises, I'm afraid, so I shan't miss much, shall I? Look, I don't mean to pry, James, but have you never considered marriage?
Only in the abstract.
Oh, really? Haven't you ever got close?
I find the difficulty with relationships, actually, isn't finding someone suitable that it's possible to live with, but being able to reveal oneself to that person and be tolerated for what one is, without finding the other person an object of pity or contempt, as it were.
Anyone want an outspan?
Thank you, no.
You're fairly quiet today, Dad.
A wise old owl lived in an oak. The more he saw, the less he spoke. The less he spoke, the more he heard. We should all be like that wise old bird.
And gatherings like these would be singularly pointless occasions.
Aren't they, anyway?
You know, I was talking to an owl the other day. I mean, an architect.
Oh, yes, this is interesting.
This is interesting.
Yes, he's designing a school, this architect, and apparently they've done quite a lot of research into what's the best shape of room for children to live and work in. Square ones are no good, you see, because the shy and insecure kids hide in the corners, and round ones are worse because there is nowhere for the insecure kids to hide. Yes, they get very upset, apparently. And so, you see, the best shape for a room is a hexagon or an octagon, from the point of view of being able to join in and hide slightly. You see, I mean, psychologically speaking, this room is just the right shape. Am I going on a bit?
No, of course not.
You see, I've always felt very much at ease here, and I'm sure Emily will regret leaving this place for somewhere more conventional. I know I would. It isn't everyone who has the opportunity of living in a converted windmill, after all.
It isn't everyone who'd want to try.
No, I suppose not. What happened to the fins? What happened to the fins, sir?
Fins? What's he talking about, fins?
Am I being incredibly boring?
Eric, you must not keep apologizing for the tedium of your conversation.
Oh, yeah. Bad habit, I know. I suppose I'd better go up and get M's things in a minute.
Whose things?
M's.
I see. Sherry for you, M.
Well, it looks as if the Prime Minister's going to the country in the autumn.
Best place for him. Another election, I think I'll leave the planet.
Oh, really? I'd rather enjoy them. Anything for a change.
All the way from South Africa.
You two must come and have lunch at Eric's one day.
Well, that's very kind of you, M. But I don't think I shall be here for much longer.
But you must stay for the wedding, James, at least.
When is the ceremony, do we know?
Friday of next week, 10:30.
We'll see.
When do you think? In what? A couple of billion years' time, our sun will have swollen into a red giant, swallowing up Mercury, Venus, and probably the Earth in the process. And that well before that, its heat will have come so fierce that the oceans will boil and all life on this planet will be extinguished. It makes your job look pretty damn pointless, doesn't it, eh?
Oh, yes. But then it is anyway, though.
I thought you had a vacation.
No. No, I think I thought I did at one point, around about the time I met Marjorie. But I think now even that was just, well, you know, a form of guilt.
Guilt?
For being comfortably off and reasonably healthy and getting away with it all the time.
I never knew this.
Oh, yes. I think it's madness, really, tinkering about with a natural course of things, patching people up and keeping them going. I suppose it's the fear of death that makes us do it, but sounds like a pretty thin excuse when life has become so frightening.
Well, I think we'd better be going.
But you've only just come.
I'm worried about lunch.
No, don't twist their arms. Off you go.
Oh, right. What about those things of yours we're taking in?
There's a trunk in my bedroom. It's up by the window. You can't miss it.
Right.
Well, can I give you a hand?
Oh, yes, I think you might be.
Oh.
Honestly, Dad, I can't stand this resentment.
Question for you. If you were so anxious to leave, why couldn't you have left years ago?
I've asked myself that many times, believe me. I never met anyone, did I? I've spent my whole life in the classic attitude of the timid woman with my hands in front of my eyes, trying to see through my fingers.
My fault, I suppose.
No! I must have been born faint-hearted.
Accuse not nature, she hath done her part. Do thou but thine.
Well, I'm doing it. At last.
Yeah, it's a funny thing getting this old suit out again. Oh, you know, I'm not one for talking about the past. But I found a wallet in the pocket with a photograph. Yeah, look at that.
Where is this?
Eastbourne, 1937. Your mother and I were on holiday. Wonderful summers, I remember.
What's going on?
Oh, fooling about in a golf course. Yeah, I couldn't play in those days. Hadn't got any of the right kit either. You can see I've got my trousers tucked into my socks. Damn funny. That chap in the cap laughing. He gave me lessons. I can't recall his name.
Is that Mother?
Carter. Got it. Jock Carter. Yes, yes. Volunteered to caddy.
Volunteered, was she?
Wonderful fortnight.
Why is she crying?
What?
You haven't even looked at this properly. If it was such a wonderful fortnight, what's my mother crying for?
Emily, listen to me, Emily. When my heart missed a beat the other day and I was lying in bed, propped up against a pillow in the dark, it came to me. I'm going to die.
Again! Don't whine, Father. It doesn't suit you. You're much more convincing when you bark.
Oh, sorry. Easy, Eric. Steady on, easy.
It really is.
God, this is murder.
Well, it's very good of you to change this.
I know. Oh, God, I think I've done my back.
Oh, God, you have trouble with your back.
When convenient.
All right, Madam Whiplash.
I'll see you later.
Well, we lost. You know, I think they stand a chance. As much as anyone. He's so nice it almost hurts. Even if he is a bit bland and average. Oh, shut up. God, I hate me.
Who's getting lunch?
I suppose I am.
Well, I never know where to find anything in that kitchen.
The last romantic piece, 790/12, Part 3, Take 1.
How's your bath?
Oh, you know, quiet. Wouldn't mind a cup of hot chocolate?
The kettle's on. Why don't you sit down?
You're in my chair. Ah, here's the thing. Look at this.
I'm looking. It's a balloon.
Right first time. Now, I take a pencil, so, and I make a number of large dots all over the surface of the balloon. So, I expect you're wondering why I'm doing this, eh?
Not particularly, no.
Relativity theory. Simple demonstration. Now, you imagine the balloon as a cluster of galaxies.
I'll try.
Good man. Now, space, light, and time curve around a large mass. The universe is expanding and contracting over a huge time scale. At the moment, it's expanding. The space between the galaxies is getting greater.
Careful, for God's sake.
Keep an eye on the dots. Compare ancient Hindu mythology, the breathing of Brahman, the universal life force. The cosmos has a pair of lungs. In, out.
Is this going to be what they call the Big Bang theory?
Oh, damn.
I see. More of a slow fart.
You get the idea. The imagination needs some aid if it's to appreciate the mystery.
If you think my imagination can be fired by the sight of a spotty balloon, I'm afraid you're wrong.
Fancy a game of chess?
There's nothing I fancy less at the moment. Aren't you tired yet?
No. Drinking again.
What do you mean again? Very good for the stomach, brandy is. Especially mixed with port. We got any port?
Ah! The demon drink. Can be a great scourge, you know, unless kept under rigid control. Look at Victorian England.
I'm looking at it. Kettle's boiling if you want your cocoa.
Oh, do you think you can manage it on your own?
I expect so. I've always sailed through it before. One cocoa?
I wouldn't mind a biscuit. What's that you're drinking?
Coffee, instant, irritates the lining of the stomach.
Keeps you awake, you know.
So do you. So do a lot of things.
Yeah. This stuff tastes foul.
I expect so.
You don't make it the way she did.
Honestly, I shop, I clean, I spend half the day with my tits over that stove, and all you do is complain.
You're what?
Tits.
Ridiculous proposition. What sort of man are you?
A homosexual father. A puff. A Nancy boy.
Rubbish. Oh, defeats his claptrap. Ha! Look. Oh, you just wait until the right girl comes along. You'll see.
Oh, God.
The trouble with you is you never had an ounce of balls.
No balls? Of course I have. I just don't wear them on my sleeve, that's all.
That balloon's got more drive than you ever had.
Thank you.
I could fashion a better man than you out of one of those newspapers.
I dare say, yes. How's the private army coming along?
Volunteer force. We've had quite a response, as you can see. Give that back.
Yes, sir.
Give it back.
Yes, sir. Thank you most kindly for your wonderful circular. It was us who won the last election here by procuring some nail clippings and a lock of hair from the Labour candidate. Wonder how they managed that. Rest assured, we shall be chanting for you at the next Esbath. The old gods are not dead. They think we are. When Diana rules again, God help the like of Wedgwood Ben. Blessed be yours sincerely, Mordred and Mildred Hooper.
Well, why worry? With support like that, you're home and dry.
You know what it is about you? You've had your tongue in your cheek so long you're choking on it. You don't care anymore. You don't care.
Absolutely right. I sometimes care that I don't care, but no, basically I don't care.
Well, some of us do. And some of us are prepared to defend our homeland to the last ditch, which, let's face it, this is.
All right, forget it. Forget it. I'm tired, Father. I haven't slept a wink for a fortnight, and I'm feeling extremely frayed around the edges.
I haven't slept for years, and I'm all right.
Congratulations. Choose. Tell me something, Father. How is it you're the only one in this family who's ever had any energy? Why do you do so many varied things, tearing from one to another like a demented ferret?
I'll tell you why, since you ask. Because I bate not a jot of heart or hope, that's why, but still bear up and steer straight on.
Who said that?
Satan.
Appropriate.
Paradise Lost. And Nietzsche said, drive not the hero from thy heart. And some other customer said, passion is the true measure of man's power. Passion? Huh? What do you know about passion? It embarrasses you. What do you know about courage or honor or strength or any other damn thing with a tuppenny-halfpenny candle?
Nothing. You're absolutely right. I know nothing about any of those things. I have never, I don't believe, witnessed any of them outside of the arts, as far as I can remember.
Well, at least you're humble enough to admit it.
Humility? Yes, seen plenty of that. Endless stepping down and stepping aside, but never joy or recklessness or grace. If you think what you're displaying now is anything more than a prolonged death rattle, you're wrong.
Damn you, Nullifidian.
Give us a smile. Come on. Nullifidian. You know so much too, don't you? How come?
Your fault, that.
Mine? Why?
Started when you were up at Oxford. Kept sending books back to be stored.
Oxford?
I opened one in an idle moment. Enjoyed it. Went on from there, I read the lot. After that, there was no stopping me. I read everything, especially in the army. There's one thing about a book, not like a woman. You can take it anywhere. Not like a woman.
It can't have been easy for her, Father, can it?
If there's such a place as paradise, your mother's hating me. I'm not playing anymore. The game for old men and idiots. I ought to be working. Alternative technology, that's what's needed. Recycling waste products. Get the vegetable garden going. You could have a crack at that. I might see if I can get some sales back on this place, get it functioning as a mill again. Generate our own power. Buy a goat. After all, it could be in a state of siege by winter.
A goat, I ask you.
Well, hardy little beast, the goat. Don't
We've
you
already
agree?
got a goat, you.
Fresh milk, you see, yogurt, right on the doorstep.
To say nothing of other even more distasteful things.
Just the job. Wouldn't even have to go down to the village if it came to it. Good scheme, eh?
No, lousy. Don't you agree with him?
I can see it all now. We could be entirely self-supporting by Christmas.
Why, though, Dad? You've got enough hobbies on the go as
Why?
it is.
Well, the coming slump, that's why. The great austerity. They'll be rationing before long. No doubt about it. Yes. While everybody else is tightening their belts and queuing up for a cup of hot soup, we'll be in clover, all set up. Yes. Milking the goat, grinding our own flour, laughing.
You may be. I won't. I shall be in Juan-les-Pins, I think. Or Venice, even better.
Will you indeed? Venice?
Yes. Sinking ever so slowly, surrounded by works of art.
Well, whatever you do, don't let me stop you.
Now, go on then, if you're going.
You're drunk. He's drunk.
Sorry, what?
Your brother-in-law. He's drunk.
No, I'm just a little tired, that's all. I'm sorry.
Since you mention it, I am a little bibulous, yes.
You pathetic torpor.
And I warn you, when I'm bibulous, I have been known to get ever so slightly lacerating.
What was that again?
Lacerating.
Lacerating. Well. Ha! I'd better get up while the going's good, hadn't I? Wouldn't want to tangle with a wild animal from the BBC drama department. Ha!
I should dearly love to take this umbrella, ram it up his arse, open it, and spin it. I'm sorry, I'm feeling a bit farouche.
Well, we all have our ups.
And downs. Where's he gone?
God knows. He shimmies off every night on some secret mission or other. Find it easier not to ask.
That's right. Lie low, say nothing.
Hope it pisses down. Hope he drowns.
Here, Eric. Coffee for you.
Oh, thank you, Em.
Nice meal, though, James. Thank you.
It was poison, dear, be honest. All in all, this must rank as one of the vilest evenings since the Borgias went out of business.
Well, I've rather enjoyed myself, really.
Yes, well, you're a doctor.
Well, tell me, James, are you enjoying your stay?
You are drinking rather a lot, James.
Well, as well as all the harm it does the liver, it actually kills off brain cells. Drink does.
Jolly good thing, too. Who needs it? I'm not drunk, really. I wish I were. The old man. Why won't he die, do you know?
No idea. The recurring near misses get to be the worst strain in the end.
It's all your husband's fault. He could fix him. A nice little air bubble in a syringe or something. Nobody'd know the difference. Eric, how about it?
He's asleep.
Why is he so tired, your spouse? He's been nodding off all evening. What's the matter with him?
It's me. I keep him awake all night, tossing and turning and waltzing about the place looking for things to do.
Oh,
It's
no.
awful. I'm ruining his career already. He keeps yawning in his patients' faces. He told me the other day he held someone's pulse for nearly 5 minutes.
Finish off the wine.
Oh, no, I mustn't. You know me.
Finish it. How are things otherwise?
I can't get used to it at all. I mean, I'm living with a total stranger, aren't I? Look at him there. Who is he? Can't be my husband. I don't know him from Adam.
Shouldn't you have considered that earlier?
At least he's younger than Dad and quieter.
What about, you know, sex?
That got off on the wrong foot right away. It started off with him prescribing me the pill. It seemed a bit incestuous to me. And I mean, honestly, what can he possibly see in me physically? I mean, I always think he's being polite, you know, bluffing.
We married you, dear. He must fancy you.
Come off it with my figure.
Nothing wrong with your figure.
Oh, no, really, look at my bust. Have you been spotted? It's like 2 aspirins on an ironing board.
So, perhaps he's a leg man.
Oh, the 2 schools of thought, then.
Yeah. Even fiercely opposing factions, I gather.
Well, if it ever came to a fight, Eric would make a very good umpire.
Impartial.
Indifferent. Luckily, he's fairly absent-minded, so it doesn't come up all that often. What a sordid conversation.
Samaritans are on holiday at the moment. Please record your message now.
Still at it, are they?
Oh, life goes on, you know. I find it easier to give them a polite brush off. No one else rings.
Have you contacted Geoffrey at all?
I tried ringing once, yes. I got myself on the answering machine. James Gantry has gone to the country and will be away for an indefinite period of time. One of the more sinister moments of my life.
This isn't wine.
No, it's whiskey. Like it?
Oh, it makes my eyes smart. Singes the larynx.
And kills off the brain cells. £4 well spent when you come to think of it.
Come on, dear. We're off. We're off.
Oh, are we off?
Hello, Eric.
Oh, hello, James. I'm sorry about this.
I did warn you about Emily's nocturnal perambulations, didn't I?
I don't mind, as long as she's happy. Are you staying long?
I'll go back soon. Go abroad, Morocco, perhaps. I don't think I should be doomed to stay here for much longer. You better run, go on.
Yes, righty-ho. Sorry I've been so boring.
Not at all, Eric, not at all.
Night, James.
Night, Emily.
Thanks for having us.
You got the keys?
Don't let her drive, Eric. She's drunk.
Hold on. All right, okay? Oh.
Eric!
Right. Well, hold it. All right?
Oh, really?
Sorry, darling.
Oh, God, now I'm going blind.
Damn it, bastard. There she stands. Saw Mason tonight about the goat.
Couldn't care less about your bloody goat.
Here, come and hold this. Come on. Come on, grab hold of it.
What the hell's going on?
Don't nag, woman.
What did you say?
Ha! So I did.
Yeah, this is the end. I am not sharing the same house as a bleeding billy goat.
Nanny goat. You surely don't expect me to leave her outside in this weather, do you?
Why not? Do they shrink?
Oh, I'll soon get some sort of shelter constructed in the morning. Yeah, this'll have to do for tonight. Come on, Nanny. Sleeping quarters. Ah, that's it. You don't happen to know what they eat, goats do? I forgot to ask. Mason seems to keep his supplied with a lot of those little pellet things lying around. I wonder where he gets them.
They're not what they eat, Father.
What do you know about it? You're drunk. What's happened to the lights?
Storm's buggered them or something. Well, it can't take you this long to buy a goat.
I'll resign that tomorrow. The volunteer force. Hand it over to Hicks.
Miss Hicks?
Not her, her father.
A father? I thought he was long since dead.
Not him. He was never dead. Merely biding his time. Just the man for the job. Retired general, you see. Dedicated to the past. Nothing better to do with his time. Wants to start a national network. There are millions of them, apparently, in shire and hamlets all over the land. Patriots. Ready to abandon their bridge parties and their rose gardens at a moment's notice as soon as they hear the call, which, of course, will never come.
Why not?
Because all they have to fight when you get down to it is their own inertia. Now they're like you.
You got the boot, is that it?
Not at all.
You managed to alienate them even.
Out of my way.
You all right?
Of course I am. Either I carry on or I stop. Same choice everyone has.
What's that supposed to mean?
I'm going to do some work on the book. What are your plans?
Oh, plans, I was coming to that. I'm leaving.
Leaving? Oh, what's the matter? Don't you like it here?
What I need to know is whether you think you can manage on your own.
Ha! Where are you going?
If I can find my way home.
Good. I don't relish watching a man decay.
Why do you always fight everyone off, Dad? Where do we go wrong?
Do I?
Ashamed of something, is that it?
Well, you should know you're the same. Traditional English failing, insular as a race and as individuals. I believe it'll be the death of us all in the long run.
Oh, I see. Leave it at that then, shall we? Bit of human contact after all these centuries might upset the apple cart. Yes, I can see that.
Human contact. You know half your trouble? You're a romantic.
I'm not a romantic.
Yes, you are. Damned incurable. Emotion, sensation, fancy, no underpinning, no common sense, no form.
You're the romantic. Stuck out here in the back and beyond, fighting imaginary battles, dreaming.
I'm not dreaming, I'm building. Terribly important for me to get things right before I die, you see. Terribly important. Duty to myself.
You know, you're a total stranger to me, Dad. Total.
Naturally. Tension of opposites. I might have got on with a grandson if you'd ever had the decency to breathe.
No. We have some family business to settle before tomorrow.
Nothing to discuss.
With particular reference to Mother. I mean, we were both away at school, Emily and I, when it happened. We've never been told, not unambiguously, of why a woman of, what was it, 35?
I loathed her. In the end, I felt nothing but contempt for her defeated, withered, neurotic spirit. You'll say I drove her to it. She died because she didn't want to live. Christ!
You know what, Dad? You're a killer. You've destroyed most of what's in Emily. You've annihilated me. Now, you're going to tell me exactly what you did to Mother.
Yes,
I'm going to give you 3 seconds, Dad. Sorry.
nothing to discuss.
1.
Put that thing down.
2. 3. Foiled. Foiled by a bloody hedgehog. Father?
Emily. Emily's dead. Of course I'm bloody sure. I seem to have shot him with an empty gun.